African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, is a United States Trade Act enacted on 18th May 2000 as Public Law 106 of the 200th Congress. AGOA has since been twice renewed and now extended to 2025. The legislation significantly enhances market access to the U.S. for qualifying sub-Saharan African countries. At inception, AGOA provided preferential market access to over 6,500 different products from Africa. Nigeria, a nation desirous of an improved revenue base through the non-oil sector, has been exploring ways of latching onto these great prospects. The Nigerian Export Promotion Council, NEPC, has been engaging in several capacity building activities for many business owners in the country. On Export Digest this week, we bring you one of such activities recently executed by the NEPC. I am Femi Boyede, your host. I'll be right back. From agricultural produce to solid minerals and fashion, Nigeria is blessed with abundant natural resources with exceptionally skilled human resources across the value chain to finish some of these products for international acceptability. For instance, our fashion industry alone has the skilled manpower and finished products to compete favorably in the international market, but across global market shelves, made in Nigeria products are still missing. In addressing this inadequacy, the NEPC boss recently, during a capacity building on the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, in Apapa, Lagos, expressed the federal government's readiness to develop the local fashion industry to international standards. This will be through the creation of production hubs for industrial and large-scale production of quality Nigerian designs for the international market.
And get the tailors at the web to reproduce for them. For instance, a Nigerian designer, after we introduce it to an American company, gets an order of like 10,000 shirts in different sizes. There's no way you can do that with us. So it comes with that part and his order. It's fabric and brings it to the production line, and it is so there for him. That's the incentive we're going to be giving our designers. We're working now with the FADA, that's the Fashion Association, Designers Association, the Nigerian Tailors Association. We partner with Standards Plus, as well as the fashion present in order for us to do this. But we want to appeal, to the Bank of Industry to help to fund this. We must, at least in this year, we must do at least one production of. So our tailors, our designers can have a place where they can educate and produce clothes. We are looking at each quantity, not just the necessary what we got as suitcase exporters. You have like 10 suitcases of your clothes and you take it to London. Of course, you sell, but when the commercial quantity, when the store gives you an order, when you get an order from Selfridges, when you get an order from Saks, when you get an order from Macy's, other countries are there. The Ethiopia goods at Macy's, the Kenya goods at Macy's, how come Nigerian goods are not there? Because we need this production to work.
Quite a smart and positive move there. But beyond this is the underlying factor of quality. How can we ensure quality assurance in the international market for Nigerian products through the National Quality Infrastructure Plan? That is what we will focus on Export Digest this time with my guest.
No nation depends on one source of revenue if it hopes to create a sustainable economic development and a future for its citizenry. Countries like Malaysia, India, Singapore and even Kenya have all grown and sustained their respective economies through non-oil exports. Our vision at the Nigerian Export Promotion Council is to promote non-oil export as the key driver of the Nigerian economy through strategic diversification of the economy from oil to non-oil. NEPC is strategically positioned to do more through our action plan on 13 national strategic export products, Zero Oil Plan, the One State, One Product Initiative, and the Nigeria Diaspora Export Program, which are needed pillars of success in our National Industrial Revolution Plan. Invest in non-oil export business and reap bountifully. Export business guarantees a prosperous future through inclusive wealth and job creation. Join hands to make Nigeria one of the top 20 largest economies in the world. Export business, tomorrow's business. For further inquiries, visit our website on www.nepc.gov.ng.
Joining me in the studio to discuss this topic is a professor of development economics, Professor Ken Ife, who also I'm learning another chapter of his life today. For 6 years, he was a London Food Commissioner. Prof, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, without taking much of your time, we're talking about quality. There has been a very big hue and cry very recently about the rejection of Nigeria's food products in Europe.
That's right.
Of course, the main reason is quality.
Yes.
What are Nigerian exporters doing wrong?
First of all, we need to understand what products were being rejected and why were they being rejected, and then what infrastructure is missing, the quality infrastructure, and if we get them right, how do we now make sure that what happened won't happen again? I think diclovos was one of the things that was picked up, but of course aflatoxin has always been in the picture,
yes,
affecting most of the products. You have cocoa, you have sesame seeds, they're giving up to June.
Yes.
There were about 50 notices that were served. Now the thing is two questions. First question is, what is it that the market actually wants? And how are we actually reaching that market?
Yeah.
Are we reaching the market with the right quality of products that they need? And then, you can trace back. I think we have a big challenge. The big challenge is that when you go down, our products address different types of market anyway. There are products that are just collected by traders, and then they take it in, and then they go to Covent Garden market or with the Spitalfield or some of those open markets. But there are some that are targeted to retail chains.
Yeah.
And then, there you have to have a proper system set up, right from the farm, all the way through the chain to meeting export conformity assessment requirements. And that's where the quality infrastructure express themselves. So the question is, let's go to the back end, which is the quality infrastructure. There are several areas that we needed to address. One is the sanitary and phytosanitary requirements that have to be met. For those who are dealing with meat and fish products, of course, we have serious issues about those. It's only about the only aquatic resources are those are our prawns and that one that are coming through. But the rest of the fish and meat products, there are big challenges there. We're not getting in on those. But for fruits and vegetables and all these other commodities, we have phytosanitary issues. Yeah. And those phytosanitary issues are to deal with. In 1999, we have EU Food Safety Act that kicked in, and over 70% of known insecticides, pesticides, inorganic fertilizers, they were banned. And our farmers don't even know which is which. They just buy in and put in this, and that's why you could pick diclofos from pesticides. So nobody's actually training them or telling them what not to use. I
was actually going to ask you, Prof, is our government or have our governments been responding correctly?
I wouldn't say so, because we have an issue about organization that is lacking.
Yeah.
When you compare ourselves to other economies like Ghana, where there's success, or Cote d'Ivoire, where they are successful in exporting some of their pineapple products and green products, and Ghana, where they are actually in direct relationship with organizations like Marks and Spencer, and they're doing their Waitrose, they're doing their fruit salad,
yes.
Which is mango, pawpaw, and pineapple, and they have no issues. And then you have a place like Botswana, Madagascar, where Tesco has 10,000 farmers, subsistence farmers, growing all their vegetables, and none of them has more than 1 hectare. And they are organized as outgrowers. They give them training, they give them the seeds. Foundation seeds are multiplied and they are given to them. They train 300 outgrowers who go and support them, and they have a buyback agreement over 5-10 years. We haven't got those kind of structures, but we have opportunity to begin to look at those. Who are the major exporters that understand the quality systems that are required, and then get an array of outgrowers around them. Then secondly, who are the retail chains like the South African ShopRite, for example, that can cultivate over 10 to 20,000 outgrowers who will grow crops that will meet their standard. If we meet their standard on their shop, then you can go abroad. That product can broadcast across Africa.
Sure.
Then the third one are, who are the manufacturers that are manufacturing to standard? Like Nestle, like US, you've got some who are actually manufacturing to standards. How are they expressing themselves on the ground to work with those? I think you see some sign in Olam in their rice. You've seen they're doing something there. Dangote, 50,000 hectares, Olam 10,000 hectares, and they're working with our growers. That is where they are responsible for the training, for the particular seed that they give them. So they get the foundation seed, they multiply those seeds, and they give them to them, they grow them, and they take them in over a contract. And then you know that quality is being maintained across the chain. And Donald Duke tried. He did pineapple. I know when he started, he took 30 trailers of pineapple suckers from Edo State and had all of them, gave them to his farmers. And then they were producing for 3 years. He was buying it at a predetermined price. And that developed. And Dangote was processing the pineapple in Calabar.
Yeah. So,
that is the kind of organization that you need to have to breed discipline and spread knowledge to the grassroots, so that being a subsistence farmer is not a disadvantage.
So you
have to build that base.
Yes.
Then in terms of quality infrastructure, because if you don't have that base, you're still going to have a huge challenge on quality infrastructure. One is to set them up. Two is to get them compliance on using those. Because the traders that cause all the havoc you have don't even go to use existing infrastructure that you have, quality infrastructure that we have. What we have with SUN or with NAFDAC or independent certification agencies, they don't go to some of them. So they just collect things.
So what you're saying in essence, and I think it's quite clear and looking so simple when it comes to agricultural commodities and products, there has to be an interplay, a responsibility between the public and the private sector.
That's correct.
Because there's an image that we want to present. But I want to talk a little bit about that which is a bit mundane. The shoes that are manufactured in Aba and exported to Malabo and neighboring countries. That's a very huge export potential for Nigeria.
Absolutely.
How can we talk about quality issues? Because what's the major issue there? Finishing.
It's just the finishing.
They've got the soles right. They've got the shapes. They have some kind of updating of the fashions and designs, but the finishing. How can quality issue be addressed in that kind of sector?
Okay, you know, when you have quality standards, you have to have quality certification systems that apply the standards.
Yeah.
And then you then have this quality mark. So if you are going to have that quality stamp, then you have to work to that standard. And then they revise it. They come and visit you every 2 years, which is quality assurance. Now that is the mechanism that is missing. Because if you get the quality system approved for you and you're certified accordingly, you wouldn't want to lose the certification because you already have products in the market. So you fight to maintain those because samples can be taken anywhere, anytime, and checked against the standard. And if you are failing, you lose your standard. So we need to have the system in place to be able to check the products carrying those brands. So that means these people that are producing them, they have to brand them, and then you brand them because you have a certification program. And those who are in the marketplace will know that they will buy. Yes, they're all from Aba, but there's a 1 or 2 or 3 brands that are assured for that quality standard. So that is missing.
And for the sake of our MSME exporters and potential exporters, for example, something as simple as exercise books. As simple as pure water, where we have seemed to develop even without any support.
And there are tens of thousands. I saw a list in the newspapers of all the water makers in the country.
Yes.
But again, of course, they will always tell you that they have NAFDAC approval and you have the NAFDAC stamp. But we need to have much more than that to actually assure the public.
Yes, I actually wanted you to give us on a final note. I can see my producer is already winking. On a final note, we have the agencies. SON is collaborating with UNIDO, Quality Infrastructure. NAFDAC is giving the number. Is it limited to numbers? Do those numbers guarantee quality?
No, it doesn't. I think one thing is that there are capacities that need to be built. There's absolutely no doubt. The first capacity is institutional capacity on maintaining and defining those standards and maintaining those standards, which is around conformity assessment requirement. And then you have the NAFDAC of this world and so on and all those institutional. Yeah. But you also have technical capacity that also needs to be built around to the extent to which they meet technical specifications and they meet SPS requirements and all that meeting. And then you have the last one, which is organizational capacity, those organizations that are actually producing. So you need those 3 levels of capacities to build. And then secondly, in maintaining quality, you have to work with the private sector. It's not just a business of government. Yeah. That's why independent certification agencies are there. You get them in good quantity and work with them because they have a better reach to the people. And associations also kick in because the associations will want to maintain the integrity of the association. Yes. and products that are branded. So that is, you've got to involve them a lot more in this process. And secondly, private sector means investment.
Yes.
That when you engage with them, they invest money in those quality infrastructure. Government will tell you, oh, we haven't got money to build another lab, or they built a lab, they couldn't put equipment in it. They put equipment, they couldn't find anybody to operate it. Get private sector involved so that they can work with those standards, they cascade the standard, they quality assure the standards, and then you get a better effective delivery.
Wow.
That is missing.
Wow. I'm sure that we can talk on and on and on about this. Prof, I want to thank you very much for sparing the time to come and talk with us. I'm sure that if we come calling again, you will be kind enough to favor our viewers. And we are very concerned about the potential exporters in this country and the little bits that they need to learn.
We need to do very much. It's not when you raise the standard.
Yes.
The standard for export, yes, but if you raise it to that correct standard, that is the chance that you have for substitution. Exactly. You cannot do export substitution unless you have actually reached the standard. The buyers have a choice. They have their money. They could buy anything from Korea or anywhere. So once your standard reaches that export standard, they can talk about substitution.
Thank you very much,
my pleasure.
Prof. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Yeah, viewers, I've been talking with Professor Ken Ife, and I'm sure that you have picked quite a lot from there.
It hopes to create a sustainable economic development and a future for its citizenry. Countries like Malaysia, India, Singapore and even Kenya have all grown and sustained their respective economies through non-oil exports. Our vision at the Nigerian Export Promotion Council is to promote non-oil exports as the key driver of the Nigerian economy through strategic diversification of the economy from oil to non-oil. NEPC is strategically positioned to do more through our action plan on 13 national strategic export products, Zero Oil Plan, the One State, One Product Initiative, and the Nigeria Diaspora Export Program, which are needed pillars of success in our National Industrial Revolution Plan. Investing non-oil export business and reap bountifully. Export business guarantees a prosperous future through inclusive wealth and job creation. Join hands to make Nigeria one of the top 20 largest economies in the world. Export business, tomorrow's business. For further inquiries, visit our website on www.nepc.gov.ng.
The drive towards ensuring growth in the non-oil export sector is a collective responsibility. Almost all of the government agencies and even Nigerians have different roles to play. Have you really been wondering what the role of a trade support institution like the Corporate Affairs Commission could be in all of this? From our next episode, Export Digest will begin a spotlight on the role of this agency of government in the diversification drive. Well, just like a minute ago, we suddenly seem to have come to the end of another exciting episode of the program this week. Join us same time next week for a fresh chain of perspectives into the non-oil export world. I remain Femi Boyede, urging you to keep up to date with us on our email address on your television screen and on our other social media platforms. Until next week, when we see again, keep talking export and watching Export Digest. See you next week.